Did you know that sports psychologists estimate that even some of the world's greatest athletes experience intense anxiety in the final minutes before competition? That's right. The players who appear calm, confident, and completely in control on the world's biggest stage are often battling the same fears, doubts, and pressure that most people try desperately to avoid. And here's the surprising part. What separates elite World Cup players from everyone else isn't natural confidence, fearlessness, or some special personality trait. It's the way they think during those critical moments before kickoff. Most fans imagine athletes spending those final minutes thinking about winning trophies, becoming heroes, or making history. But in reality, many of the thoughts running through their minds are far more strategic, disciplined, and sometimes even counterintuitive. While millions of people are watching, expectations are sky high, and careers can be defined by a single moment. These players rely on mental techniques that help them control stress, strengthen emotional health, improve focus, and perform at their absolute best under pressure. What's even more fascinating is that these same mental strategies aren't just useful for athletes. They can help anyone improve well-being, reduce stress, strengthen mental health, build confidence, sleep better, make smarter decisions, and handle high-pressure situations in everyday life. Whether it's a job interview, an important presentation, a major life decision, or a personal challenge, the principles remain remarkably similar. In the next few minutes, you'll discover exactly what many elite World Cup players think about before kickoff, how they transform anxiety into confidence, why they focus so intensely on the present moment, and the mental routines that allow them to perform when the pressure is at its highest. By the end of this, you'll understand how to apply these same powerful strategies to your own life, and you may never look at confidence, pressure, or peak performance the same way again. Minutes before kickoff, elite World Cup players often experience the same physical sensations that most people associate with fear: a racing heart, sweaty palms, and a stomach full of butterflies. The difference is not that they feel less anxiety, it's that they understand what it means. Sports psychologists have found that high performers often interpret these symptoms as signs that the body is preparing for action rather than warning of danger. Instead of fighting the feeling, they accept it. That simple mental shift helps protect their emotional health, lowers stress, and keeps their focus locked on performance instead of fear. One common technique used by top athletes is controlled breathing. A player standing in the tunnel might slowly inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, and exhale for 6. This activates the body's relaxation response and helps regulate cardiovascular health by reducing unnecessary stress before competition. Think about a penalty shootout in front of 80,000 screaming fans. Most people would panic. Elite athletes train themselves to slow down internally, creating a sense of balance even when everything around them feels chaotic. That ability becomes a form of mental self-care that can be applied far beyond sports. Another powerful strategy is narrowing attention to a single task. Instead of thinking about the championship trophy, social media pressure, or millions of viewers watching worldwide, the athlete focuses only on the next action. Maybe it's the first touch, the first pass, or winning the first challenge. Research in mindfulness and performance psychology consistently shows that attention directed toward immediate actions reduces anxiety and improves execution. It's surprisingly similar to healthy living habits. When someone focuses on today's workout instead of losing 50 pounds, success becomes much more achievable. Perhaps the most overlooked secret is that elite players don't try to eliminate nervousness completely. They expect it, prepare for it, and even use it as fuel. Anxiety becomes energy, and energy becomes action. That's why some athletes seem unusually calm under pressure. They've trained their minds long before the game ever begins. But controlling anxiety is only the first layer of the process. What happens next is even more fascinating because the world's best players follow specific mental routines that quietly build unshakable confidence before the whistle ever blows. Confidence is often misunderstood. Most people assume elite athletes feel confident because they've already succeeded. But the reality is usually the opposite. Their confidence comes from routines repeated so consistently that doubt has very little room to grow. Minutes before kickoff, many World Cup players follow the exact same sequence every single game. The routine becomes an anchor for their mental health, helping them feel stable even when the stakes couldn't be higher. When the mind recognizes familiar patterns, it naturally becomes calmer and more focused. One powerful routine involves reviewing personal strengths instead of worrying about weaknesses. A defender might quietly remind himself of the hundreds of successful tackles he made throughout the season. A striker may replay memories of important goals scored under pressure. This isn't arrogance, it's evidence-based confidence. Sports performance experts often encourage athletes to keep success journals for this exact reason. By repeatedly focusing on proven abilities, they strengthen emotional health and create a mental environment where confidence grows naturally rather than depending on external validation. Many elite players also use carefully chosen words and phrases before competition. Instead of thinking, "I hope I don't mess up," they tell themselves, "I've prepared for this," or "one play at a time." These simple statements may seem small, but neuroscience research suggests that self-talk can significantly influence performance outcomes. It's similar to maintaining a healthy lifestyle. The conversations people have with themselves every day often shape their actions more than they realize. Positive internal dialogue supports resilience, stress reduction, and a stronger sense of control under pressure. Perhaps the most interesting part is that these routines aren't designed to guarantee success. They're designed to create certainty in preparation. Elite athletes understand they can't control every bounce of the ball, every referee decision, or every unexpected challenge. What they can control is their preparation. That mindset creates a deeper form of confidence that survives setbacks and pressure. Yet, even the strongest confidence can disappear if attention drifts into the future or the past. That's why the next mental skill may be the most powerful of all, and it's something champions obsess over mastering. One of the biggest mistakes athletes can make before a major match is allowing their minds to travel too far ahead. A player who starts imagining lifting the World Cup trophy before the game has even started is already creating unnecessary pressure. Elite performers understand something that most people overlook. The future is exciting, but performance only happens in the present moment. That's why many top athletes train mindfulness as seriously as they train their bodies. Staying present protects mental health, reduces stress, and allows skills developed over thousands of hours to emerge naturally when they're needed most. Sports psychologists often teach athletes to focus on what they can directly control within the next few seconds. Instead of worrying about the final score, a midfielder may focus only on making the next accurate pass. A goalkeeper may concentrate solely on positioning and communication. This approach works because the brain performs better when it processes immediate tasks rather than overwhelming possibilities. The same principle applies outside sports. Someone trying to improve nutrition, achieve healthy weight loss, or build a more active lifestyle will usually make greater progress by focusing on today's choices instead of obsessing over results months away. Many elite players use physical cues to bring themselves back to the present whenever distractions appear. Some touch their wrist tape, others adjust their captain's armband, or take a deliberate, deep breath. These tiny actions act as mental reset buttons. Imagine standing in a packed stadium with cameras pointed at every move and millions watching worldwide. One small mistake could dominate headlines. Yet the athletes who perform best aren't thinking about the crowd. They're fully immersed in the next touch, the next run, and the next opportunity directly in front of them. The beauty of present moment focus is that it creates freedom. When athletes stop carrying the weight of future outcomes, they unlock sharper decision-making, faster reactions, and greater confidence. Pressure begins to feel lighter because attention is no longer scattered across dozens of worries. But there is another tool that takes this mental advantage to an entirely different level. Before many players even step onto the field, they've already experienced success in their minds, and what they see there often shapes what happens when the game begins. Long before the referee blows the whistle, many elite World Cup players have already played parts of the match in their minds. This technique, known as visualization, is one of the most powerful mental tools in modern sports performance. Research has shown that vividly imagining an action can activate many of the same neural pathways used during the real movement. That's why top athletes don't just train their bodies, they train their minds as well. Visualization strengthens confidence, supports emotional health, and helps reduce uncertainty before high-pressure moments. The key is that elite players visualize specific situations rather than vague success. A striker may picture receiving a pass inside the penalty area, controlling the ball cleanly, and finishing into the corner of the net. A defender might mentally rehearse intercepting crosses and winning one-on-one battles. The more detailed the image, the more effective the exercise becomes. Athletes often imagine the sounds of the crowd, the feeling of the grass beneath their boots, and even the emotions they expect to experience. This level of preparation helps the brain feel familiar with situations before they actually occur. Many sports psychologists encourage athletes to combine visualization with physical relaxation techniques. For example, a player might sit quietly for 5 minutes, slow their breathing, relax their muscles, and then mentally rehearse key moments from the game. This combination promotes stress reduction, improves focus, and creates a stronger connection between mental preparation and physical execution. Interestingly, similar techniques are now used in areas ranging from disease prevention programs to corporate leadership training because of their ability to improve performance under pressure and strengthen overall well-being. What makes visualization so effective is that it builds familiarity where uncertainty once existed. The brain naturally fears the unknown, but when an athlete has mentally rehearsed success dozens of times, the upcoming challenge feels less intimidating. The moment no longer feels completely new. It feels recognizable. And when familiarity replaces fear, something remarkable starts to happen. Pressure itself begins to change shape, transforming from a threat into a powerful source of energy, a transformation that separates good players from true champions. Most people see pressure as the enemy of performance. Champions see it differently. The world's best athletes understand that pressure is often a sign that something important is happening. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" they train themselves to ask, "What opportunity does this moment create?" This subtle shift changes everything. Rather than draining energy, pressure becomes fuel. Sports psychologists frequently note that elite performers are not necessarily less nervous than everyone else. They've simply learned how to channel those emotions into productive action. One reason champions thrive under pressure is that they trust their preparation more than their emotions. Feelings can change from minute to minute, but preparation remains. A player who has spent years refining skills, improving physical exercise habits, prioritizing recovery, maintaining proper nutrition, and building mental resilience knows that one anxious thought cannot erase thousands of hours of work. When the stakes rise, they return to their training. This mindset creates stability and allows performance to remain consistent even when emotions fluctuate dramatically. Elite athletes also develop a powerful relationship with adversity. Missed opportunities, criticism, and unexpected setbacks are treated as information rather than personal failures. Imagine a striker missing an easy chance early in a World Cup match. Average players may spend the next 20 minutes replaying the mistake. Champions quickly refocus on the next opportunity. Studies in performance psychology consistently show that athletes who recover faster from mistakes often outperform equally talented competitors. Their attention stays where it belongs, in the present moment, where results can still be influenced. Perhaps the greatest lesson champions teach is that peak performance rarely comes from eliminating fear. It comes from moving forward despite it. The athletes who inspire millions around the world aren't fearless. They're committed. They trust their preparation, their routines, and their ability to adapt under pressure. That's why, minutes before kickoff, while the crowd sees only confidence, an incredible mental process is taking place behind the scenes. One built on focus, discipline, mindfulness, resilience, and a deep understanding of how the mind truly performs when everything is on the line. So the next time you watch a World Cup match and see players standing in the tunnel moments before kickoff, remember this: they're not simply relying on talent. Behind every calm expression is a mental process built through discipline, preparation, mindfulness, and years of training the mind just as seriously as the body. Think back to the beginning. Most people believe confidence comes first and performance follows. But you've now seen the truth. Elite athletes often feel pressure, anxiety, and uncertainty just like everyone else. The difference is that they've learned how to control those emotions, stay present, trust their preparation, and transform pressure into fuel for peak performance. Now, here's the real question. How many opportunities in your own life could change if you started applying these same principles? What would happen if you focused less on fear and more on preparation? Less on future outcomes and more on the next action right in front of you? How much stronger would your mental health, emotional health, well-being, and overall quality of life become if you practiced these habits consistently? The good news is that you don't need to be a World Cup player to benefit from these strategies. You can start today. A few minutes of mindfulness, better self-care, improved stress reduction habits, healthier daily routines, and a stronger focus on the present moment can create remarkable changes over time. Small actions repeated consistently often produce extraordinary results. If you enjoyed this video, let us know in the comments. Which of these mental techniques surprised you the most? And which one are you going to try first in your own life? We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. And if you want more practical insights on mental health, healthy living, disease prevention, nutrition, physical exercise, improved sleep, healthy weight loss, immunity, cardiovascular health, and building a stronger, healthier life, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Subscribe now so you don't miss tips that could transform your health and well-being forever. Your journey toward greater confidence, balance, resilience, and peak performance starts with the choices you make today.